Hello and welcome to the second video lecture on e-commerce. There exist many difficulties when someone attempts to turn a good business idea with a huge audience into a successful business model that produces revenues and even profits. Thousands of firms have discovered that they can spend other people's invested capital much faster than they can get customers to pay for their products or services. In most instances of failure, the business model of the firm is faulty from the beginning. In contrast, successful e-commerce firms have business models that are able to leverage the unique qualities of the internet, the web, and the mobile platform, provide customers real value, develop highly effective and efficient operations, avoid legal and social entanglements that can harm the firm, and produce profitable business results. In addition, successful business models must scale. The businesses must be able to achieve efficiencies as it grows in volume. But what is a business model? And how can you tell if a firm's business model is going to produce a profit? The focus of our second lecture is on business models and basic business concepts that students must be familiar with in order to understand e-commerce. A business model is a set of planned activities, sometimes referred to as business processes, designed to result in a profit in a marketplace. A business model is not always the same as a business strategy, although in some cases they are very close insofar as the business model explicitly takes into account the competitive environment. The business model is at the center of the business plan. A business plan is a document that describes a firm's business model. A business plan always takes into account the competitive environment. An e-commerce business model aims to use and leverage the unique qualities of the internet, the web, and the mobile platform. When we are going to develop a business model, we must note that every business model has 8 key elements. Each element must be addressed if you hope to be successful. The table 2.2 lists the 8 key elements of the business model. Now we shall discuss each element separately. The first element is value proposition. Value proposition refers to how a company's product or service fulfills the needs of customers. To develop and upon or analyze a firm's value proposition, you need to understand why customers will choose to do business with the firm instead of another company, and what the firm provides that other firms do not and cannot. Typical e-commerce value propositions include personalization, customization, convenience, and reduction of product search and price delivery costs. For instance, before Amazon existed, most customers personally traveled to book retailers to place an order. In some cases, the desired book might not be available, and the customer would have to wait several days or weeks and then return to the bookstore to pick it up. Amazon makes it possible for book lovers to shop for virtually any book in print from the comfort of their home or office 24 hours a day, and to know immediately whether a book is in stock. Amazon's Kindle takes this one step further by making ebooks instantly available with no shipping wait. Amazon's primary value propositions are unparalleled selection and convenience. The second element of the business model is revenue model. Revenue model refers to how the company plans to make money from its operations. The function of business organizations is both to generate profits and produce returns on invested capital that exceed alternative investments. Profits alone are not sufficient to make a company successful. In order to be considered successful, a firm must produce returns greater than alternative investments. Firms that fail this test go out of existence. Major e-commerce revenue models include the advertising model, subscription model, transaction fee model, sales model, and affiliate model. We shall discuss these models in detail later on in this video lecture. The third element is the market opportunity. Market opportunity refers to the company's intended market space, that is, an area of actual or potential commercial value, and the overall potential financial opportunities available to the firm in that market space. The market opportunity is usually divided into smaller market niches. The realistic market opportunity is defined by the revenue potential in each of the market niches where you hope to compete. The next element of the business model is competitive environment. Competitive environment refers to the direct and indirect competitors doing business in the same market space, including how many there are and how profitable they are. It also refers to the presence of substitute products and potential new entrants to the market, as well as the power of customers and suppliers over your business. The competitive environment for a company is influenced by several factors, such as how many competitors are active, how large their operations are, and what the market share of each competitor is, how profitable these firms are, and how they price their products. Firms typically have both direct and indirect competitors. Direct competitors are the companies that sell very similar products and services into the same market segment. For example, Priceline and Travelocity, both of whom sell discount airline tickets online, are direct competitors because both companies sell identical products, that is, cheap tickets. Indirect competitors are companies that may be in different industries but still compete indirectly because their products can substitute for one another. For instance, automobile manufacturers and airline companies operate in different industries, but they still compete indirectly because they offer consumers alternative means of transportation. CNN, a news outlet, is an indirect competitor of ESPN, not because they sell identical products, but because they both compete for consumers' time online. The existence of a large number of competitors in any one segment may be a sign that the market is saturated and that it may be difficult to become profitable. On the other hand, a lack of competitors could signal either an untapped market niche ripe for the picking or a market that has already been tried without success because there is no money to be made. Analysis of the competitive environment can help you decide which it is. The next element of the business model is the competitive advantage. Competitive advantage refers to the factors that differentiate the business from its competition, enabling it to provide a superior product at a lower cost. Firms achieve a competitive advantage when they can produce a superior product and or bring the product to market at a lower price than most or all of their competitors. Firms achieve competitive advantages because they have somehow been able to obtain differential access to the factors of production that are denied to their competitors. Perhaps the firm has been able to obtain very favorable terms from suppliers, shippers, or sources of labor. Or perhaps the firm has been more experienced, knowledgeable, and loyal employees than any competitors. Maybe the firm has a patent on a product that others cannot imitate, or access to investment capital through a network of former business colleagues, or a brand name and popular image that other firms cannot duplicate. An asymmetry exists whenever one participant in a market has more resources, such as financial backing, knowledge, information, and or power than other participants. Asymmetries lead to some firms having an edge over others, permitting them to come to market with better products faster than competitors and sometimes at lower cost. Other rather unique competitive advantage derives from being a first mover. A first mover advantage is a competitive market advantage for a firm that results from being the first into a marketplace with a serviceable product or service. If first movers develop a royal following or a unique interface that is difficult to imitate, they can sustain their first mover advantage for long periods. Amazon provides a good example. However, in the history of technology driven business innovations, most first movers often lack the complementary resources needed to sustain their advantages, and often follower firms reap the largest rewards. Many of the success stories are those of companies that were slow followers, that is, businesses that gained knowledge from failure of pioneering firms and entered into the market late. Some competitive advantages are called unfair. An unfair competitive advantage occurs when one firm develops an advantage based on a factor that other firms cannot purchase. For example, a brand name cannot be purchased and is in that sense an unfair advantage. Brands are built upon loyalty, trust, reliability, and quality. Once obtained, they are difficult to copy or imitate, and they permit firms to charge premium prices for their products. Companies are set to leverage their competitive assets when they use their competitive advantages to achieve more advantage in surrounding markets. For instance, Amazon's move into the online grocery business leveraged the company's huge customer database and years of e-commerce experience. The next element of business model is market strategy. Market strategy refers to the plan a company develops that outlines how it will enter a market and attract customers. For instance, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest have a social network marketing strategy that encourages users to post their content on the sites for free, build personal profile pages, contact their friends, and build a community. The next element is organizational development. Organizational development refers to the process of defining all the functions within a business and the skills necessary to perform each job, as well as the process of recruiting and hiring strong employees. Companies that hope to grow and thrive need to have a plan for organizational development that describes how the company will organize the work that needs to be accomplished. Typically, work is divided into functional departments such as production, shipping, marketing, customer support, and finance. Jobs within these functional areas are defined, and then recruitment begins for specific job titles and responsibilities. Typically, in the beginning, journalists who can perform multiple tasks are hired. As the company grows, recruiting becomes more specialized. For instance, at the outset, a business may have one marketing manager, but after 2 or 3 years of steady growth, that one marketing position may be broken down into 7 separate jobs done by 7 individuals. The last element of business model is management team. Management team is the group of individuals retained to guide the company's growth and expansion. A strong management team gives a business model instant credibility to outside investors, immediate market specific knowledge, and experience in implementing business plans. A strong management team may not be able to salvage a weak business model, but the team should be able to change the model and redefine the business as it becomes necessary. To be able to identify good managers for a business startup, one should first consider the kinds of experiences that will be helpful to a manager joining the company. What kind of technical background is desirable? What kind of supervisory experience is necessary? How many years in a particular function should be required? What job functions should be fulfilled first? Marketing, production, finance, or operations? Especially in situations where financing will be needed to get a company off the ground, do prospective senior managers have experience and contacts for raising financing from outside investors? This concludes our discussion of the 8 key elements of the business model. Next, we shall discuss the major e-commerce revenue models. Here we shall discuss the major e-commerce revenue models. The major e-commerce revenue models include advertising model, subscription model, transaction fee model, sales model, and affiliate model. First, we shall discuss the advertising model. In the advertising revenue model, a company that offers content, services, and or products also provides a forum for advertisements and receives fees from advertisers. Companies that are able to attract the greatest viewership or that have a highly specialized, differentiated viewership and are able to retain user attention are able to charge higher advertising rates. Yahoo, for instance, drives a significant amount of revenue from display and video advertising. The second model is the subscription revenue model. In this model, a company that offers content or services charges a subscription fee for access to some or all of its offerings. For example, the digital version of Consumer Reports provides online and mobile access to premium content such as detailed ratings, reviews, and recommendations only to subscribers who have a choice of paying a monthly subscription fee or an annual fee. Experience with the subscription revenue model indicates that to successfully overcome the disinclination of users to pay for content, The content offered must be perceived as a high value added premium offering that is not readily available elsewhere or easily replicated. Companies successfully offering content or services online on a subscription basis include eHarmony that provides dating services, Ancestry, genealogy research, Microsoft Xbox Live, video games, Pandora, Spotify, and Rhapsody that provides music, Script, and Amazon's Kindle Unlimited program that provides ebooks, and Netflix and Hulu that provides television and movies. You can look at table 2.1 for examples of various subscription services. Recently, a number of companies have been combining a subscription revenue model with a freemium strategy. In a freemium strategy, the companies give away a certain level of product or services for free, but then charge a subscription fee for premium levels of the product or service. To see how the freemium strategy works, read the case study in this chapter titled Freemium Takes Pandora Public. This case study will provide you further details of the freemium strategy and how it can be applied. The third revenue model is transaction fee revenue model. In this transaction fee revenue model, a company receives a fee for enabling or executing transactions. For example, eBay provides an auction marketplace and receives a small transaction fee from a seller if the seller is successful in selling the item. E-Trade, a financial services provider, receives transaction fees each time it executes a stock transaction on behalf of a customer. The next model is the sales revenue model. In this model, companies drive revenue by selling goods, content, or services to customers. Companies such as Amazon, which sells books, music, and other products, LL Bean, and Gap all have sales revenue models. A number of companies are also using a subscription-based sales revenue model. Birchbox, which offers home delivery of beauty products for $1.10 monthly or $100 annual subscription price, is one example. The last revenue model that we will discuss is called the affiliate revenue model. In the affiliate revenue model, companies that steer business to an affiliate receive a referral fee or percentage of the revenue from any resulting sales. For example, MyPoints makes money by connecting companies with potential customers by offering special deals to its members. When they take advantage of an offer and make a purchase, members earn points that they can redeem for freebies, and MyPoints receives a fee. Community feedback companies typically receive some of their revenue from steering potential customers to websites where they make a purchase. On this slide, we have table 2.2. Table 2.2 summarizes the major revenue models that we have just discussed. When we try to categorize e-commerce business model, we face many difficulties. Here we shall discuss some of these difficulties. There are many e-commerce business models and more are being invented every day. The number of such models is limited only by the human imagination and our list of different business models is certainly not exhaustive. However, despite the abundance of potential models, it is possible to identify the major generic types and subtle variations of business models that have been developed for the e-commerce arena and describe their key features. It is important to realize, however, that there is no one correct way to categorize these business models. The second point is that we can categorize business models according to the different major e-commerce sectors, for example B2C and B2B, in which they are utilized. However, fundamentally similar business models may appear in more than one sector. For example, the business models of online retailers, often called e-tailers, and e-distributors are quite similar. However, they are distinguished by the market focus of the sector in which they are used. In the case of e-tailers in the B2C sector, the business model focuses on sales to the individual consumer, while in the case of a distributor, the business model focuses on sales to another business. Many companies use a variety of different business models as they attempt to extend into as many areas of e-commerce as possible. The third issue is that a business technologies platform is sometimes confused with its business model. For instance, mobile commerce refers to the use of mobile devices and cellular and wide area networks to support a variety of business models. Commentators sometimes confuse matters by referring to mobile commerce as a distinct business model, which it is not. All of the basic e-commerce business model can be implemented on both the traditional internet and mobile platforms. Likewise, although they are sometimes referred to as such, social commerce, social e-commerce and local e-commerce are not business model in and of themselves, but rather subsectors of B2C and B2B e-commerce in which different business models can operate. Moving further, another issue is that some companies use multiple business models. For instance, Amazon has multiple business models. It is an e-retailer, content provider, market creator, e-commerce infrastructure provider, and more. eBay is a market creator in the B2C and C2C e-commerce sectors, using both the traditional internet, web, and mobile platforms, as well as an e-commerce infrastructure provider. Firms often seek out multiple business models as a way to leverage their brands, infrastructure investments, and assets developed with one business model into new business models. The last point that we shall discuss is that there are a group of companies whose business model is focused on providing the infrastructure necessary for e-commerce companies to exist, grow, and prosper. These are the e-commerce enablers. They provide the hardware, operating system, software, networks, and communication technology, application software, web design, consulting services, and other tools required for e-commerce. For detail of these e-commerce enablers, see table 2.5. While these firms may not be conducting e-commerce per se, as a group, they have perhaps profited the most from the development of e-commerce. In this part of our second video lecture, we are going to discuss some major B2C business models as outlined in the table 2.6. The first B2C business model is e-tailer. E-tailer is online version of retail store where customers can shop at any hour of the day or night without leaving their home or office. Community providers such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Pinterest are sites where individuals with particular interests, hobbies, common experiences, or social networks can come together and meet online. Content provider such as Wall Street Journal, Apple iTunes, and CNN are information and entertainment providers such as newspapers, sports sites, and other online sources that offer customers up-to-date news and special interest, how-to guidelines, and tips and upon or information sales. Portals offer an integrated package of content search, and social network services such as news, email, chat, music downloads, video streaming, calendars, etc. Transaction brokers are processors of online sales transactions, such as stockbrokers and travel agents, that increase customers' productivity by helping them get things done faster and more cheaply. Market creators are businesses that use internet technology to create markets that bring buyers and sellers together. And at the end, service providers are companies that make money by selling users a service rather than a product. In the next section, we shall discuss major B2B business models. Companies that supply products and services directly to individual businesses are called e-distributors. E-distributors are owned by one company seeking to serve many customers. E-procurement firms create and sell access to digital markets. Firms such as Ariba, for instance, have created software that helps large firms organize their procurement process by creating many digital markets for a single firm. An exchange is an independent digital marketplace where hundreds of suppliers meet a small number of very large commercial purchasers. Exchanges are owned by independent, usually entrepreneurial startup firms whose business is making a market, and they generate revenue by charging a commission or fee based on the size of the transactions conducted among trading parties. They usually serve a single vertical industry such as steel, polymers, or aluminium, and focus on the exchange of direct inputs to production and short-term contracts or spot purchasing. Industry consortia are industry-owned vertical marketplaces that serve specific industries such as the automobile, aerospace, chemical, floral, or logging industries. Industry consortia have tended to be more successful than independent exchanges, in part because they are sponsored by powerful, deep-pocketed industry players, and also because they strengthen traditional purchasing behavior rather than seek to transform it. The last major type of B2B business models is a private industrial network. A private industrial network is a digital network designed to coordinate the flow of communications among firms engaged in business together. For instance, Walmart operates one of the largest private industrial networks in the world for its suppliers who, on a daily basis, use Walmart's network to monitor the sales of their goods, the status of shipments, and the actual inventory level of their goods. Here we shall discuss some of the key business concepts and strategies applicable to e-commerce. The first key concept is the industry structure. Industry structure refers to the nature of players in an industry and their relative bargaining power by changing the basis of competition among rivals, the barriers to entry, the threat of new substitute products, the strength of suppliers, and the bargaining power of buyers. An industry's structure is characterized by five forces, that is, rivalry among existing competitors, the threat of substitute products, barriers to entry into the industry, the bargaining power of suppliers, and the bargaining power of buyers. When you describe an industry's structure, you are describing the general business environment in an industry and the overall profitability of doing business in that environment. E-commerce has the potential to change the relative strength of these competitive forces. Industry value chains is the set of activities performed in an industry by suppliers, manufacturers, transporters, distributors, and retailers that transforms raw inputs into final products and services by reducing the cost of information and other transaction costs. Every industry can be characterized by a set of value adding activities performed by a variety of actors. E-commerce potentially affects the capabilities of each player as well as the overall operational efficiency of the industry. Firm value chains are the set of activities performed within an individual firm to create final products from raw inputs by increasing operational efficiency. A simple firm value chain performs five primary value adding steps, that is, inbound logistics operations, outbound logistics, sales and marketing, and after sales service. E-commerce offers firms many opportunities to increase their operational efficiency and differentiate their products. For instance, firms can use the internet's communication efficiency to outsource some primary and secondary activities to specialized, more efficient providers without such outsourcing being visible to the customer. In addition, firms can use e-commerce to more precisely coordinate the steps in the value chains and reduce their costs. Finally, firms can use e-commerce to provide users with more differentiated and high value products. For instance, Amazon provides consumers with a much larger inventory of books to choose from at a lower cost than traditional bookstores. It also provides many services such as instantly available professional and consumer reviews and information on buying patterns of other companies that traditional bookstores cannot. Business strategy is a set of plans for achieving superior long-term returns on the capital invested in a firm by offering unique ways to differentiate products, obtain cost advantages, compete globally, or compete in a narrow market or product segment. The 8 unique features of e-commerce technology can produce impact on business environment and result in changes in strategy, structure, and processes of a business. Here we shall discuss how each unique feature of e-commerce technology can produce such an impact. Ubiquity alters industry structure by creating new marketing channels and expanding size of overall market. It creates new efficiencies in industry operations and lowers costs of firm sales operations. It also enables new differentiation strategies. Global reach can change industry structure by lowering barriers to entry and at the same time greatly expands market. It lowers costs of industry and firm operations through production and sales efficiencies. It also enables competition on a global scale. Universal standards change industry structure by lowering barriers to entry and intensifying competition within an industry, lowering cost of industry and firm operations by lowering computing and communication costs. It also enables broad scope strategies. Richness alters industry structure by reducing strength of powerful distribution channels. It changes industry and firm operation costs by reducing reliance on sales forces. It also enhances post-sale support strategies. Interactivity alters industry structure by reducing threat of substitutes through enhanced customization. It reduces industry and firm costs by reducing reliance on sales forces. It also enables differentiation strategies. Personalization and customization alters industry structure by reducing threats of substitutes, raising barriers to entry. They reduce value chain costs in industry and firms by lessening reliance on sales forces. They enable personalized marketing strategy. Information density changes industry structure by weakening powerful sales channels, shifting bargaining power to customers. It reduces industry and firm operations costs by lowering costs of obtaining, processing, and distributing information about suppliers and consumers. Social technologies change industry structure by shifting programming and editorial decisions to consumers. It helped create substitute entertainment products. It energizes a large group of new suppliers. As we discussed earlier, business strategy is a key business concept applicable to e-commerce. In this section, we shall discuss 4 generic business strategies. These 4 generic business strategies are meant to achieve a profitable business. These 4 strategies are differentiation, cost, scope, and focus. The differentiation strategy involves setting your firm or product apart from the competition by establishing some unique property or consumption experience that your competitors do not have. A firm that adopts a cost strategy must have a unique set of business processes, a unique resource, or a low cost supplier. It is essential that other firms in the marketplace do not have access to or cannot duplicate this, because it will allow them to charge a lower price while still making a profit. A scope strategy sets out to compete in all markets around the globe rather than just locally or regionally. A focus strategy, on the other hand, is a plan to compete within a narrow market segment or product segment. Specialization strategists seek to become the premier provider in a small market segment or niche. This is the end of our second video lecture on e-commerce business models. Thanks for watching. I hope this video lecture was beneficial for you. To get notified for any new video lectures, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.